Hi, I'm Curious Cass, and this is Curiosity Junkie. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and then click that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new recording or video. Today's guest is a wellness and fitness coach, and she's here to talk about fitness, meditation, and the importance of sleep. Please welcome Lori Hoy. Hi, Lori. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Cassie. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here today with you, and I can't wait to dig into the topic at hand.
Yes. I'm so excited. And like I said earlier, it's just nice to connect face to face because I see you posting all the time on Instagram, and that's kind of how we connected. So it's nice to meet you finally.
Yeah. I mean, you can see pictures and see people's faces, but once you start talking to them, it's much nicer and it's much more connecting. I love that.
Yeah. Well, you're a wellness coach and you do a lot of fitness postings and healthy lifestyle stuff out there. And I love that. And we just came off of International Women's Day. And I thought, what great timing for us to be able to talk about fitness and health, and especially for women. Sorry, men, this one's going to be directed a little more at women. And I'm sure there's a lot of this that can be applied both ways. So let's talk a little. How did you get on the wellness journey? What took you to becoming a wellness coach?
Okay, so I was always an active person when I was younger in sports. I played a lot of group sports, but as most people, I fell out of that once I became an adult.
Right? Yes.
And the journey of becoming a parent, not having time, all of those interruptions. It's like the basic story of a lot of people. Mm-hmm. There are those anomalies that from the moment they started exercising, they continued and here they are. But that was not my story. And I, went through a divorce. And while my son and I was a single parent, we had a YMCA that was literally about 13 steps from my front door. And I said, wow, there's no excuse. You can go. So I did that. And that's where I kind of started it. And then, fast forward a couple of years, I fell into, I'm sure a lot of people are going to recognize this class, Zumba.
Oh, yes.
Dance fitness class. And I fell into going to a class, and oh my goodness, it was like my swan song thing. That was like, it was created for me. I'd never heard of it. I took every class that I could think, I could stand, my body could stand. I had an amazing instructor, which helped, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And she encouraged me after about a year of classes to go get certified. Here I was in my 40s getting certified as a fitness instructor. And that was like something I'd never thought I would ever do. Right. And it was literally the thing that had propelled me to where I am today. That was back in 2011. So I've been teaching fitness classes since then. I've evolved out of Zumba, but I still love to dance. So it's dance fitness. Today I taught a booty class. So,
nice.
Get prepared for the summer.
Or whatever
you want to wear, right? Mm-hmm. I fell in love with dance and was looking at choreography. I'm not a choreographer by trade. It's something that's a challenge for me. Right. So I was looking on YouTube because you can find pretty much anything you want.
Yes.
And I came across the dance fitness instructor that I absolutely loved her stuff. And she was in the process of becoming a wellness coach. And that's just the other area of here. Social media is again, propelling me in a different direction. So my education is actually, I was a teacher for 15 years in the elementary schools.
Oh, wow.
And my love of fitness kind of just overtook that and all of the other things that go along with education. So I'm just teaching different things now. I'm not teaching math and spelling, well, to some people, but I'm teaching fitness, I'm teaching nutrition, I'm teaching overall wellness and how to love yourself and all the things that all of us go through throughout our lifetime. So in a nutshell, I guess that's my story of how I got here.
I love it. It's a beautiful story. And divorce is an amazing motivator, isn't it? Sometimes for like health and wellness and fitness.
Yes, it is. And then I met someone and have been married to him now for going on 16 years. So, and he's my partner in the business that we have. We opened a fitness center in 2018. So
wonderful. Well, good for you guys. I think that's
thanks.
amazing and wonderful. And then COVID hit. So you guys probably did a lot online at that point.
COVID hit, and we really didn't want to close our doors, but the pressure was there. So we did. And then we had fitness classes online for free for 3 months. Yeah. So all of our community could partake if they chose. And then we ended up opening it up again. And we've decided that won't ever happen again. We're going to stay open. So regardless of what happened. So everybody missed it. And we realized it was more than just coming in and exercising. There's the social aspect, and there's also the mental health aspect of, people would email and say, when are you going to open again? I really need this. This is something that I do for my mental health. So there's so much that goes into fitness outside of just moving your body that, it's really, really important to get some kind of a routine together.
Yes. Yeah. The community piece, I think is just huge. And that connection, we all need it. We crave it. So I'm
You're hardwired for it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you brought up age, so, starting this a little later in life, and I'm later in life. And so I kind of want to talk about, like, what is the importance as we age, being women? What's the importance, or why is it really important for us to continue to do some sort of physical activity?
Well, I think what fitness does for us is it helps us age gracefully, and it helps you age in reverse, basically. If you stop moving, you literally stop moving. Your body just continues to break down. So, when we talk about arthritis, we're really not supposed to have all these aches and pains that we have. Traditionally we think, oh, I'm just getting older, it must be arthritis. But that's inflammation. That's a whole other podcast. But, there's so many things that go into it. But as we age, we all know, especially women, we fall prey to things like osteoporosis, and continuing to move helps us not eliminate, but to ward off those things later in life. So it keeps your mind sharp, obviously your body, and not necessarily in, six-pack abs and bulging, muscles everywhere, but it definitely keeps you toned. And it is definitely, I've seen the difference between where I am now in my early 50s to where I was in my early 20s. And I'm in much better shape now than I was then. And, I don't believe that there's any age that you can't start a fitness or a health journey.
I love that, because you're never too old to do anything.
Never too old to start something. Yes.
Do it. Yes. And I worked for a chiropractor for a while, and his biggest thing was the movement, that as we age, our likelihood of falling becomes greater when we don't exercise. And so he's like,
yes, broken hips are what they call the kiss of death. Yes. So you want to be able to continue to have that stability in the muscle tone so that you can avoid, or hopefully avoid, falling, one, and then two, having the healthy bones, because exercise helps to keep that intact as well, that you're less likely to break a bone or at least have a severe fracture.
Right. So. Well, what's the biggest mistake? Because, we all do that January thing, and we're talking resolutions and all of that stuff, and everybody gets a gym membership. And what's the biggest mistake most people make when it comes to starting like a fitness routine?
Well, this is the first year that I had heard, and I wish I could remember exactly who said this, but instead of making a resolution, create a routine. So that routine becomes so much a habit that you really can't not do it. It's like brushing your teeth every day. I would think the majority of the people, when they leave their home in the morning, don't forget to brush their teeth.
Right.
So you have to create a routine, okay, of what is it that I want to do to make myself healthier. When I talk to my clients, everybody's busy. We all have a million things on our plate that we need to do. And so part of what I do is to help them set goals that are doable, like I work out 6-7 days a week. That's just a routine that I have developed over time. This did not happen overnight, and it didn't happen in a January of one year that I said I'm going to do this.
Right.
So I would say, if Cassie, if you were my client, I would say, well, how many days a week can you get in some kind of movement? I don't say a fitness class. I don't say exercise. I say movement, because that can be anything. It can be taking a walk. It can be doing air squats while you're watching television. It could be walking on a treadmill. There's so many different ways for your body to move to create that habit. So that's how I start when I talk to someone who's really struggling to create that routine. And then we also talk about obstacles, looking at your week. What obstacles do you see coming up that might prevent you from getting that movement in that you are promising yourself that you're going to do? So I think that's the biggest mistake. We want it all right now. First of all, we think that magical thing of, I'm going to get a gym membership, and we don't think about anything else but fitness. And I have like 9 other areas of wellness that I think you have to pay attention to, not just fitness. So also, the other thing that I think people do to make a mistake at the beginning of the year is they don't find something that they like. They don't try enough things. They think, well, I got to go in and walk on a treadmill, and this is boring, but this is what I got to do. And then 2 weeks in, they quit because it's boring. It's boring. I mean, I don't know anybody else out there that loves to walk on a treadmill. Right now we have snow falling in my backyard, which is crazy, but walking on a treadmill sometimes is what you have to do to get started. You have to find something that you like, because you will stick to it more readily if you do. So it's trying things out, different things, and being okay with failing.
Yes, I love that.
First time, just like this podcast is my first time. And yes, you might be nervous, and yes, you might be intimidated, but you just got to push through those feelings. And I know it's not easy, but finding a friend to do it with you, and just creating an atmosphere where it's something that's a positive thing for you and not a negative.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm all about the journey inward, and the self-love, and the self-acceptance. And I find when I start my day with my meditation, exercise, some sort of movement, I have a much better day than when I don't. So I look at it like a routine is something you do for yourself because you care about yourself. It doesn't have to be, like you said, full on gym fitness. You need some sort of movement, activity, basically every day, just a little bit to keep you in a good place.
Right. Even if it's 10, you can only fit in 10 jumping jacks. It's movement. And it will, it's physiologically proven that it will improve your mindset, your mood, all the things, and it'll get everything, all of your systems going in the morning. So, saying that, and of course, continuing to look at what you're saying to yourself. Well, I don't have time. Well, we know we all have time, because we'll either scroll on, on social media, since that's so prevalent now, or we'll just entertain ourselves with other things, and we don't take our own time to put into ourselves. And that's what we really need to do, because it's important. We are.
Yeah. And I think, the message there is, you really have to put yourself first. We tend to want to put other people first, and then we let ourselves go. And that doesn't help anyone, because now you can't take care of anyone, including yourself. So put you first. It's okay. Don't feel guilty.
Yeah. We will let ourselves down quicker than anything. So making that promise to yourself, because you don't you don't break promises with your friends. So treat yourself like a best friend and make that promise to yourself. And then also give yourself a little bit of grace when, you do have that day when the mood is not there, and you just decide, what, today I'm just going to skip it, and don't feel guilty about it. Just accept it, name it, claim it, and move on.
I love that. Name it, claim it, and move on. That's good. Okay. So when you were talking about the gym, what goes through my mind is walking into a male dominated place. It is mostly men in the gym. And I would say that when I'm thinking that, it's like around the weights.
Right.
And so the intimidation to never step into the weight area is kind of there. I'm talking for myself, like this is me going into a gym. So I see the weights and I'm like, look at all the men. I'm going to go over and do the treadmill because it's safe. I know how the treadmill works.
Yeah.
So there's the piece that I think a lot of people get caught up in. Classes are nice because you go in and somebody walks you through everything. But getting to know the equipment is so important. When I have taken the time to either have someone walk me through or just fumbling through the equipment, the machines, the weights, figuring out what everything does, the next time I go, I'm so much more confident to get on something different and break up my routine of just the bike or the treadmill, because those are easy to do.
Yes. Well, I will tell you, that's one of the things that I see in a lot of women. One is they are just intimidated by the sheer fact that the majority of people that are there at that time when they go in are men. Yeah. And that is one of my missions, to change that, just to have more women and be okay with walking in. And here's what I will say to those women that are thinking that. What I've noticed in the 4 years that we've had this particular facility, those men don't even care that you're there.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Like they go in to work out like it's their job and somebody is paying them to do it. They really don't. Now you're going to have a couple of outliers,
right? But
for the most part, they are there to do their thing. They may be, at least in the members that we have, are very helpful. If they see you struggling with something, they'll come and ask if you want help, and not in a icky, creepy, kind of chauvinistic way. At least the guys that I have learned to respect in our facility. And I will tell you, I was intimidated opening a fitness center, not being an expert in all things. I just wanted to have a place for exactly what you said, for women to come. Sorry, guys.
I know.
Feel comfortable, want to pick up a weight, want to learn how to weight train, or take classes that are also safe too in that respect. But there are still women and men that are intimidated to go into a fitness class as well. So they'll stay on the other side, on the weight area. And I think it goes both ways. Fitness classes can be amazing ways to meet new people. And they also can take your fitness to another level. And I have, I've kind of like, I joke about this, and I don't mean to say it in a sense to offend anybody, but I feel like I have fitness ADD. Like I can only do something for so long, and then I want to do something different. Like I'm constantly trying new types of workouts just because I want to continue to see if I can change my body. Or if I can find something new that I really like and add in. Yeah. And, or I'll do things that I don't really like run, not my favorite thing to do. And just to prove to myself and to build confidence. So when I do walk into a fitness center I'm not familiar with, I know what I'm doing. And to be honest, Cassie, I started right here in my house doing workouts. And so if you are someone that's, intimidated to walk into a place, start out with a home program. There's nothing wrong with that. And I actually use home programs when I do my workouts because I don't want to think about it. I just put it in my ear and I go to town.
Yes. Okay. I love hearing that. So there are no excuses. You can do it at home. You don't have to go to a gym.
And you don't have to have a lot of equipment. You have equipment right here. God gave you this equipment. So use it, in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. What can we do to kind of live a healthy lifestyle? Like fitness obviously is one thing we can do, but as a wellness coach, I'm sure there are, like you said, 9 different things that you kind of look at and ask people to focus on. So what else can we do besides fitness?
Right. So what I look at, like I said, I have this nine, I call it my wheel of wellness, in 9 different areas. And there's probably a lot, and they probably intertwine, but I just take a look at those 9 different areas, and I ask people to really just look at it and rate themselves on them 1 to 5. Like, I have no idea what that is, to I'm a rock star at this one. I believe that the number one thing that you can do to help your overall wellness is sleep, is prioritizing sleep. And it is a hot topic right now. If you're on, if you listen to podcasts, which your listeners do, they listen to you, you're going to hear sleep is huge. And so if you're not prioritizing sleep, that's going to affect every other area of your wellness. It's going to affect how you move every day. If you're tired, you're not going to want to exercise.
Yeah.
If you're tired, you're going to probably choose foods that you don't want, that you shouldn't, or I shouldn't say shouldn't, but aren't the best or healthiest for you. So it's going to affect your mindset. And these are all things that you can do. So you had mentioned part of your morning routine is meditation. Mm-hmm. I believe that is one other area that one of my 9 areas that people need to try and just embrace. Mm-hmm. And it looks different. It's not just sitting on a rug with your legs crisscrossed with incense burning and your fingers poised. It is, meditation can be movement. Meditation could be just sitting still. I listen to an app on my phone that does all of my meditation for me. I don't have to think about what I'm supposed to think about. Right. She tells me, and I appreciate that. Yeah. So, just being able to be every once in a while is really a good wellness tool, because I think we get so busy doing that we forget to be a human being instead of a human doing.
Yes.
Nutrition, of course, is another area of wellness, and that's a biggie that people struggle with. And I think there's no one right way for us all to eat, other than to embrace that we all need to eat. We all need to eat good food, and don't waste your time on things that don't taste good. Like, you only get one life. And that's one of the things I will share a lot in my stories or on my social media is the food that I make. I'm very simple. I love good gourmet food, but I'm not going to spend the time to do it. Right. But doing some research on your own on what's going to really work for you, because there's no one size fits all. I'd love to say it. I'd love to say, here, everybody to do this or take this pill or drink this shake, and it's going to work for everybody. It doesn't. We all have to find truly what works for us.
Yeah.
And then we talked about connection. I think that's another part of wellness that people don't think about. We talk about being an introvert, being an extrovert, being an introverted extrovert, or being an extroverted introvert, all these different things. But I think having really good relationships is truly important. Whether it's, you can find great friends online, you can find great friends or, significant others locally or whatever, but having somebody that you can confide in and maybe share some of the same things that you do, but also challenges your thinking on things. So connection is huge too. That is one of the things that I talk about with my clients as well. Because do you have a support system, somebody that's going to support you in doing any of these wellness activities? So, self-care, huge. It's like the central thing. And I think, taking care of your sleep, making sure that you're well hydrated, eating good, moving every day are all forms of self-care. Yes. And it doesn't have to be just, going and getting a massage or your nails done. That's the typical, what we think of when we say self-care. Self-care is setting boundaries with people that you have relationships with or in your workplace. So I believe that, there's a lot of different areas of wellness that come into play that people just don't realize are part of their wellness, because we always want to stick with, I got to work out every day and I can't eat this or I can't have that. Yeah. There's so many more things. And it took me 50 some years to figure that out.
Yeah, same here, right?
Not overnight. Yeah.
I was already in my 50s when I started really looking at the bigger picture and really reflecting and taking care of myself, putting me first, like really.
My sister called that to me when she turned 50. She's older than I am, but she said, it's the gift of 50. You start to see things a whole lot different. And I'm like, until it happened. She's really right. Darn, I don't want to tell her, but no, I'm just kidding. But it's true. I mean, you just start to get to that point in your life where all the little things don't really matter. And so I think you start to embrace truly who you are, which I would love to have a group of women I know in their 20s and say, no, do it now. Don't wait until you're 50 to embrace truly who you are. And, just enjoy living life and do the things that bring you joy and less of the things that don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And that's a great message to all the young women out there.
Yes.
Start now. Really.
Start now. I did. And then I stopped. Like, just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, life happens too. And you have kids and you kind of, everything becomes a priority around them and you kind of fall, back here. But it's like, take the time to put yourself first. Take those few minutes in the morning, get up a little earlier, whatever you have to do to have the me time, the quality me time, not just being busy.
I also think it makes you a better parent, period, because you are in a better state of mind. And then it shows your kids that you're taking the time and you are important, because who do they learn that they're not important to take the time for? They learn it from us.
Right.
So
that stinks. You were talking about the sleep thing being a big deal. And it is. I was listening to a podcast last week. I think it was kind of a doctor. I don't think he's a doctor of like MD, some kind of neuroscience thing. And he was talking about sleep tracking and tracking your sleep because it is so important to your overall health. And when we don't get enough, we really don't realize what it starts doing to us when we are not getting the sleep we need. And I think he was saying, 7 to 8 hours is pretty much what most people need. Now, again, everybody's a little different. Maybe you're 6 hours, but I'm a full 8 hours. Like I like my sleep.
I love to get 8 hours of sleep. It doesn't happen often, but it's truly another priority you have to set. One of the podcasters that I listen to is Sean Stevenson, the Model Health Show, and he wrote a book called Sleep Smarter. I recommend it highly if you're struggling with sleep. It's a great book to read to start. And if you are a parent, guess what you did with your kids, or even when you were young, your parent had a set schedule that you did for bedtime. Maybe you got a bath and then you read a book and then it was lights out and then you went to sleep and you slept for 7-8 hours. We stopped doing that as adults, and we really need to get back to that, because I think it's even more important now to think about that, because it does affect your brain health. And what do we see is growing right now in our older population? Effects of things like the food we eat and lack of sleep, because we are so busy, we got to do one more thing. And so there is a lot of studies out there, and I'm not here to quote all of those studies because they're here somewhere. I listen, but truly taking time to really focus in on good quality sleep. It's not even always just 8 hours. It's what kind of 8 hours, the 8 hours of sleep that you are having, or even if it's 6 hours, is it good quality, deep REM sleep? Because they're finding a lot of research out there. It will help in every area of your wellness, even weight loss.
Yes. Like overall mental health, physical, everything. It really does impact in a big way. I love that you brought up meditation too, because that was something I didn't come to until my 50s as well. I use a meditation app. Insight Timer is my go-to. I love it. Highly recommend. There's so much on there. But it doesn't have to be, I love that you said it's whatever it is for you. Meditation doesn't have to be like you said, sitting cross-legged, fingers together, oming, whatever.
In a monastery, it doesn't have to be that. It can be anything that just, I think, takes you inside and just calms yourself, calms your body. I sometimes just even listen. I'll be doing things and just listening to a meditation. And is it doing something for me? Yes, I believe for me it is. Another form of meditation for me is cooking. I do love to cook. So when I'm cooking, I put on soft music. I don't always listen to something that I want to learn about, but I'll put on some kind of a meditation music and just, taking that time to sound meditative, one with the food.
Right.
But it's something that I enjoy doing. Even just, walking out in your backyard, not with your phone, not talking to anybody, just being one out there with nature truly is, again, it doesn't have to look like anybody else. It's just you being with you and trying to just entertain that person that's inside and giving them the opportunity to be seen, be heard, be felt. And, just embrace that calmness that it brings, because I think it will start your day, especially starting your day off.
Oh my gosh, yes.
In a whole different way. And then ending the day too is another great way to just lull yourself right into a good night's rest too. So.
Yeah. I think of it as, just being mindful in a moment with yourself. And if it's literally a minute, it's a minute. Take it. Connect with your breath. That's it. Yes.
In the car before you go into work, take 3 deep breaths. And that's a form of meditation. It's just calming your body and activating that sympathetic nervous system as well.
Absolutely. Well, do you have like a favorite recipe? You said, you like to keep them simple. Do you have one that is like your go-to when you're like, okay, I don't even want to think, this is it, we're having this tonight?
Boy, salads, always salad. You'll see salads all the time, but I would say even before dinner, if I need to go somewhere like a party, because this is always a question I get. Well, I don't, I'm going to a place and I want to stay on track. I always take something I know that's going to fit in with what my goals are. And my go-to is a very simple guacamole. I buy fresh chopped up tomatoes and onions and peppers. I don't make my own. I buy it in a container. I throw half of that in with 4 or 5 ripe avocados, squeeze a little bit of lime or lemon or both, put some seasonings in there, chop it up, and I'm good. Like that is my go-to for any time that I have to go anywhere, and they always know that I'm going to bring it.
Right.
So, and I usually take vegetables or some organic chips or something like that they can taste, because there's a lot of people that think that organic tastes like cardboard.
Yes.
But I've tried them all, and there are some that do. But I just, definitely keep it simple. I don't buy everything organic. I try my best. I live in central Pennsylvania in the dead of winter. There's not everything out there. So I try my best, but just truly keep it simple. My go-to tip is season your food. That's the key. Especially my salads. There's not a salad unless I order out, which I rarely do, that I don't put salt, pepper, garlic powder, and either basil or oregano on every single time. Well, when you bake or roast vegetables, don't you season them?
Yes. Right.
Salad is no different. So that changes the whole trajectory of a salad for me is the seasonings that you put on it.
Yeah, I agree.
So salads are always a go-to for me. And, some kind of protein, whether it's tuna or grilled chicken, or we really like salmon cakes. So those kinds of things, just simple stuff.
Yeah.
And you feel good after you're done eating it.
And I think that's the key too, is keeping it simple. Don't have to get all elaborate, because then it's hard to stay with it, because it's a chore and it's one more thing you have to do. So keep it simple.
Simple.
I like it. Well, talking about fitness and going to the gym, is there equipment or any exercises that we shouldn't be doing, that we could be hurting ourselves, or anything like that?
Well, when you first said that question, I thought, oh man, this is a tough one. What I would always say is, if you're doing an exercise that actually gives you pain, don't do it, no matter what it is. I don't want to ever dissuade people from trying something. I'm always going to recommend that you talk to a physician that you trust before you try any fitness program or any equipment. When I'm training someone, we talk about pain versus what it's supposed to feel like. And that's it's also a hard thing to describe, because a lot of people, when they're first starting, they feel the burn of that muscle and they think, oh my gosh, I'm going to hurt myself. Well, no, that's really what you're supposed to feel, is kind of like that little bit of burn and heat in your muscles. But if you're actually getting a sharp pain, or what is challenging in the pain area, then that's something that you start. But I'm never going to say don't try something. If you are anywhere on the internet, you're always seeing people that are defying the odds, that have limbs that have been removed, and they're doing anything their heart desires. So to say, is there anything that we shouldn't be doing? I don't know if I have a really great answer for that, other than if you feel pain, stop,
Right.
I don't want women to think that they can't weight train.
Mm.
You know, or I don't want men to think they can't take a fitness class because of X, or I've worked with people that have had knee replacements and hip replacements. It's truly, you have to find what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to also think about how you're fueling your body, and then have a partner in with your doctor to really find something that's going to benefit you in all of those ways. So no, I don't personally think that when I look at the machines that we have there's not one machine there's some that I don't like. Now that's a different situation.
Right.
Nothing there that I won't try, or there's nothing there that I think that could be actually hurtful to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any limitations as far as that's concerned. So, I do have a woman that has, that comes to our center, that she has a rod in her back. So there's certain things that she already knows she can't do, certain machines she can't use. So knowing your body well is the best indication of what you should and shouldn't do.
Right.
And I had a friend, really wise friend, who's also a wellness coach, say to me one day that most people know more about their cell phones than they do their own bodies. So think about that for a second. You really have to get mindful, as we've talked about your body, and knowing what truly is pain versus what the feeling is that you should have. Mm-hmm. And then hiring, if you really don't know what you're doing, hire somebody to show you. Hire a personal trainer, hire a coach that's going to help you. It doesn't mean part of my job as a personal trainer is to kind of work myself out of a job.
Right.
I train that person to know what to do. So yeah, I think the sky's the limit. I think saying that someone shouldn't use X, Y, or Z, it's really truly dependent on that person and their physicality, truly.
Mm-hmm. No, that's another reason to become self-aware, is you really have to tune in to your body. It will talk to you. It will tell you all kinds of things if you listen.
Yes. And you need to listen. Yes. That's the key too, is listen to your body. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, then on the opposite end of that, is there anything as women, sorry again, guys, that we should be doing? Is there an exercise that you go, women, listen up, you need this?
Well, as a realm, weight training, definitely any type of resistance training. But I think one really, really great exercise that you can do, and you can do it as little as 2 minutes a day, is a full-on plank.
Seriously? Okay.
Planking is so good because it is a head to toe. You're engaging core, you're engaging all of your major muscle systems. It is definitely a great exercise that tones everything. And you can do it daily. You can work yourself up to those 2 minutes. You don't have to start with 2 minutes. So, if you've never done a plank before, please consult someone to show you how to do one properly, because yes, you still can hurt yourself if you don't have proper form, or if you don't have proper form, you're wasting that time or that energy and not getting the results that you want. But one of the things that I do is pick out a song, one of your favorite songs, put it on, put a timer, and start.
Yes.
And just work yourself up to maybe even it's a minute. And then the next thing you know, 2 minutes, you will start to sweat in 30 seconds. You will start to shimmy and shake. And that is all great things for your body. It's not bad when you start to, oh my gosh, I'm shivering. That's a good thing. That's your body's trying to get stable, and trying to think of the other word.
It's actually, I've heard in some of the trauma healing classes that I've taken that shake is actually a release, and your body needs that because we don't always process trauma in the moment. So even if you can do that, and taking your body to that shaking point is an excellent way to open up and just release. So it's a beautiful thing.
I think was doing a plank challenge one time at our center, and the longest I've ever done a plank is 5 minutes. It was excruciating. I'm not going to lie. But I did. I worked up to that. Again, I didn't just go, oh, I want to do a 5 minute plank today. I worked myself up to that. I've done it twice, and I don't, it's like, okay, I checked that box. But if I had to do it, if you had to do it, if there was a family member that was in trouble and for some reason you had to plank 5 minutes, you would do it, believe me. But there were, I think it was like an ungodly amount of hours that this woman had planked. I'm like, it's crazy.
Whoa.
One of the things that you do is you block yourself from achieving those things right here. Let your mind talk you out of, this hurts, I can't do it, my arm's shaking, I got a cramp. If you can just really tap into that person in your mind that is your cheerleader, that's no, you can do it, keep going, you will do it. But yeah, planking's so great. And I've actually started to read some more about that same research you were talking about with the trauma therapy and shaking. It's great. It's great. So.
I can't think of the gentleman's name, but he's got like a whole practice around it and getting your body to that point. Wall squats are a great way to get your legs going. Like that'll get you shaking.
Challenge yourself, and maybe that's the movement that you do for a week. Right? You start with 30 seconds on Monday plank, and then a minute and a half or 45 seconds the next day, and then you go to a minute. And every day you add 15 seconds on. I mean, it's motivating once you do it. And I'll give you an example of something I did when I turned 50. Which was a few years ago. I did a 50 days out. I did a fit to 50 challenge, and I did 5 different exercises, and I did 10 days of each. Okay. So it was my 50. So I started out with, I think my first exercise was running stairs. So a flight of stairs. So I did it once. This day I did it twice, and so on until I did 10. So 10 sets of running stairs. And then the next 10 days, I did something different, and it kept going for 50 days. And that was my way to celebrate becoming 50 and pushing myself beyond where I thought I could go, because the last one I did was push-ups, which are my nemesis. Don't like them, but now that I can do them, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. It's the hardest thing for me. I want to do push-ups. And I did it. I did 100 push-ups on my toes, live on Facebook. It was hard. I wanted to cry, but I did it. And I was so proud of myself. Now, if you ask me right now to drop and give you 100 push-ups, I'd say no. But challenging yourself like that when you want to celebrate turning another age older, I mean, like that was the best way for me to prove to myself that age is really only a number. And you can't limit yourself to say, oh, I'm going to turn 50. I can't do that. Yes, you can. You can do anything that you want. You can start a business. You can, start whatever you want to do at any age. And that's, this is one of the things that I want to try and press upon those that aren't at our age, that you can do anything at any age. Start.
Yes.
Start small.
Great message. Okay. So in my mind, as we're talking about planks and push-ups, I go, for someone who hasn't been physical for a few months, speaking of myself here, when I start something like that, I usually start on my knees. Is that good? Or should I just start in the full plank or push-ups?
Planking or push-ups? Well, I think starting, if you've never done a push-up before, if it's something that's really challenging, you can start even with wall push-ups, where that the hardest part of push-ups is, in my opinion, is recognizing that it's not all about your arms. It's really about your chest and your core. Okay. So, I think because of just our makeup, we're not as strong as men. I mean, like my husband can drop and do 100 push-ups without even breaking a sweat. And I'm like, how does that work?
Right.
Starting by doing something on the wall.
Yeah.
And building yourself up to, and then going to your knees and then going to your toes. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Modification is a great tool to get you to where you want to go.
Mm.
I mean, think about a child. They don't just stand up and walk the first time they come out, right? It takes them a long time to get to that goal of walking, and they fall down and they get back up. So if starting a plank, you want to start on your, start on your knees and you're just really working on your upper body, then do that. But challenge yourself each time. Or if you're doing let's say doing push-ups, try and do as many as you can on your toes and then drop to your knees. Try and then modify.
Okay.
But for push-ups, I think if we're just going to talk about that one particular exercise, starting on the wall, because you've never done it before, is a great place because you won't hurt yourself. Strain muscles that aren't used to doing that. And then, the next day you're like, I'm not going to do that again because you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So, and you can find all of this for free on Pinterest, on YouTube. You can find videos. But if you have someone that that's a personal trainer, just ask them to show you some modifications of how to get started, because that's going to help you do those baby steps of keeping it simple. Yeah. Our theme here, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
And working yourself up to something that you're going to enjoy.
Yeah. I like that. Is there like a basic way to start that? Like a foot back from the wall, or if you're going to start with a wall push up? Because I kind of like that idea.
I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I can show you.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody listening, she's going to demonstrate a wall push up.
It's going to try to be hard to see my feet. Let me, if I put it down this little bit. And this is my little home gym. So
I love it.
Basically, you want to be a distance away. I mean, being close up is not going to help you. So you want to be a distance away from the wall.
Okay.
Okay. You're going to have your hands out and you're going to focus on your chest muscles, not necessarily your arms.
Right.
It's going to push away. So it's that motion of pushing away from the wall.
Okay.
What this does is it eliminates gravity for you. So when you're on the ground and trying to do a push-up, you have also gravity on you where that isn't. So you're going to get you're going to get the benefit of strengthening that area of your body before you go to the floor.
Okay, cool. And for anyone that is simply listening, Lori was standing, I'm going to say her arms were fully extended and you were still leaning a little bit with the lower body. So,
right. I would say my feet were about 3 feet away from the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that you're going to fall in, you want to be a distance away so that you can actually push yourself away from the wall once you bend your elbows to go in. But you can find lots of videos on YouTube that will demonstrate how to do all of these types of exercises for free. You don't even have to, but be careful. Just be careful when you're doing those. And again, always consult your physician before you do any new exercises or any new fitness programs. Just get a complete physical and so you're good to go.
Well, what words of wisdom would you share with us today when it comes to wellness and fitness?
I think, I think I said it. Find something that you like because you will stick with it. And that's in any area. That's in a way of eating, meditation, some type of movement, and finding people that are like-minded to surround yourself with to do it. Maybe not with you, but just that you have that as support, because sometimes, and I'm sure your listeners have had this happen, they start something new and they're all excited about it. And they're just telling everybody. And all these people are like looking at them like, this isn't something I think I'm going to like. And they try to dissuade you from doing it. So you really, truly have to find the prince among the frogs in that respect, and surround yourself with people that will support you in that area. And it may not be the friends that you have now, and it may not be your family. Right. You'll find that wellness family or fit family, or however you want to term it, they'll come. And just know that keeping it simple and fresh and light and fun will give you more benefit emotionally than doing something that you absolutely hate because that's what so-and-so's doing.
Right. Yes. I like that. Do what makes you happy and don't compare yourself to anyone else.
No, the comparison oh, it's just terrible. And we are just hardwired to do that too. Take inspiration from somebody else, maybe reframe it that way.
Yeah.
You want to do that. And so be inspired by them instead of comparing your beginning to where they are in their middle. And we don't know their story 100% or where they started from. Especially with social media the way it is now. I still get caught up in comparison every once in a while.
Yeah, they all do.
But then I sit back and go, oh, wait a minute, you've been doing this for a long time. Take some inspiration from this person and you have to try it. You just have to try.
Yeah. I love it. Good stuff. Well, what do you have coming up? Any classes or events, anything online that people can connect with?
Yes, we actually, I have several instructors at our fitness center. We do offer some virtual classes. You can get on. We use the MindBody app, MindBody. Okay. And all you have to do is search for our facility, Full Body Health and Fitness, and create an account. And the classes that are virtual are listed. And you can tune in with us anytime. I teach a class right now. My first class today in a long time, because I've just kind of burnt out and taken a break and everything that's been going on. And I did it's called Butt Buster. And it was a really 30 minutes and it was a really great class. So that one will be available virtually as well. As far as locally, we are going to be having what do we call a group fitness experience on the 19th of March, where our local people can come in and they can experience everybody's class all in within a 2-hour time. So lots of water, lots of pre-workout will be drank that day, but all of our instructors are going to give, just a little bit of a demonstration of what they do during their class. Cause I think that's another thing of fear of what it looks like. And on our Instagram and our Facebook accounts, we show just little snippets of the classes. We've been doing some video work and it's not professional by any stretch, but we are just sharing what some classes are like. We have some really amazing instructors and there are amazing instructors all over the country. So for wherever you're listening from, just take an opportunity to go try a class, make it, a challenge to try one new class a month or something, because group fitness is also, it's where it got me started. And what I do now, and I still love it. And I still love to work out by myself sometimes too. So definitely just try something new. You just don't know. It might be the thing, like Zumba was for me. It was the thing that got me started into my whole journey since then, the last 11 years of my life. So
wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Zumba. I love that. All from Zumba.
Zumba, Beto Shuffle,
That's fantastic. Well, how can everybody connect with you? Because I found you on Instagram, but I know you're in a lot of different places with the fitness center.
So I have an account on Instagram. It's @_Lori Hoy. And we also have an Instagram for the fitness center. It's @Hoy's Full Body. And then we are on Facebook, same handle for me on Facebook for my personal. And then our business is Full Body Health and Fitness. I think it's just Full Body Health Fitness on our Facebook. Okay. And we do have a YouTube channel, but it's not being utilized right now for the time being. We do have weightlifting competitions. So we just kind of house them there for the people that compete. It's totally charity based. People come and we donate the money that we get from the participants to a local charity in our area. So it's a really great time. And so we have that kind of stuff up there on our YouTube channel. We're not into the virtual classes like that through YouTube, just through our own Zoom link. But so yeah, that's how you can find us. We're on all the basic channels. I'm on TikTok, but don't worry about that either. That's just for fun. It's just me having some fun on that. So, but we don't have a business account there. But yeah, Instagram and Facebook, you can hook up with us there and, send us a DM, ask questions. If you have any questions about getting on our virtual classes with MindBody, just send us a message and we'll get back to you on that.
And I'll run all of the ways to connect with Lori on this video, and it will be in the podcast description. So they will all be there for you. Lori Hoy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for asking me. It's been wonderful, and I'm not nervous anymore. Just saying.
Oh, good. Yes.
It was so great. It was so fun. Just like I was talking to a girlfriend on the phone. I mean, it's just wonderful to meet people like you, and I love your things that you post as well. And I'm just so glad we connected online. Yeah.
I know, right? Community.
It's not all bad.
Yes.
It's not all bad. It's not all bad.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, thanks again. And to all of you out there, thank you for tuning in, listening, watching. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and then click that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new recording or video.